Good morning, everyone. I'm still kind of asleep here, but I wanted to do a quick introduction because I'm going to bring you along with me today, and I'm going to the shops, and along the way I'm going to do a bit of a park clean. So I'm only going to take one bag so I won't stray too far off the path and go crazy, but I do want to document the whole thing, and if it's really bad that means I can, tell the government, I don't know. So I think it'll be pretty cool to take you with me, and I'm going to get ready and let's go. First of all, look at how gorgeous this scene is. There's ducks that were swimming around, but I think they've seen me, so they're a bit scared. But all around the edges, I can see bits of plastic, bottles, cups, cans, everything. There's just everything is wound up here and is in their environment, and that upsets me so much. How sad is that? Okay, I'm just gonna have to go down there. I honestly can't believe how much rubbish I found. This is such a common walkway for so many people, and I feel like I live somewhere where people really respect their environment. I live in a beautiful area, and yet there's rubbish everywhere. So much of it gets just washed up down this stream that I showed you, and there's wildlife all over the place that's getting damaged by this. There's animals that eat this plastic by mistake because they just don't know. They didn't live in a world designed for plastic. They have no need for plastic. They just see something in the water and eat it, and I'm still finding things, picking them up while I talk to you. This is a plug. Why is this here? What are you doing? I honestly thought that this huge bag would be enough for just this trip up and down. While I was cleaning up that little bit of stream, a man and his dog came up to me, and he honestly gave me a pat on the back. The first ever pat on the back I've ever got, just because he was glad someone was cleaning up the area. He said that where he used to live, there would be a cleanup every now and again. Everyone in the neighborhood would be given a bag and they would just clean it up like one day a year, and that at least gets the residents aware of everything going on. Where I'm walking right now, one side is a neighborhood, one side is like a gorgeous little river, and you just don't expect to see the amount of rubbish that I have in literally 5 minutes. And I don't know, maybe it's normal, but it shouldn't be. Let's keep going. So I've just passed literally what I always think of as the most beautiful part of my trip, which is past this like gorgeous, what I'd call duck pond, but it's not. It's just a large area of water and ducks like it, but there's always ducks there. I always love it, and just past that point is honestly the worst point, and it's right behind me. I don't know if you can see or not, but there is just so much rubbish there. There's more litter there, rubbish there, plastic bottles there especially, than I have seen before. Even looking this way, away from all this, I can see bottles. There's nowhere I can look right now where there's no plastic, and my bag is already full. I don't know, I'm gonna have to come back here tomorrow, but it's not on. And I've run out of room now, so I'm gonna have to stop filming, but I'll keep going as much as I can. long story short, yesterday I ran out of bags. I was just still so upset about the rubbish that was left here. I could see the wildlife. There are ducks like 5 meters away from me, and I love ducks, so this is a privilege to be this close to them, really. But they are here feeding and living surrounded by so much rubbish. I've come to this place because not only is this where the most wildlife is, but it's where the most rubbish is, where the most litter is. And it's not on, so I'm going to make this video. Hopefully I will send this to the council and see if anything else can actually be done in a serious way. But today I'm going to collect everything. I'm going to sort it into plastics, cans, metals, glass, bottles, whatever, you name it, and look after it myself because it's just so bad at the moment. So let's get going. So this is my haul. There is so much of everything here. Crikey, I literally couldn't stop picking things up. Anything that's left is just the teeny tiny things, but there's plastics here, tin cans, a McDonald's cup. I only found one straw in this whole thing, which was pretty astonishing to me, but there's so many bottles, there's cans, there's whatever that red thing is. What are you? There was a cassette tape. Who has cassette tapes anymore? This whole bag I filled up with all this stuff because I knew it would just blow away, and I really hate it. Oh my goodness. And all this, guys, is just from a half hour at this place. You can see there's still something purple down there. I did try to collect it, but it's actually so stuck down a hole that I can't get it. So that bit of fabric unfortunately has to stay. This is the area I was cleaning up, and I ended up going all the way down there because I can still see rubbish. It's so much cleaner now, but you know what, I can still actually see some rubbish, so I'm going to do a bit more collecting here, put it into bags, take it all home, recycle everything that I can, come back in a month and see if I have to do the whole thing all over again. So, quick introduction to this next part. It didn't originally have an intro. I filmed a lot more than I'm about to show you, but a lot of it just wasn't worth showing, and actually another bit I thought was really worth showing. So it has its own video. It's already on YouTube. I will link it below. So it's a quick and super helpful guide for what the recycling symbols mean on plastics. And that research led me to think, what plastics do I have in my own house? Things that I reuse and could repurpose. So that's what I'm about to babble about next. So enjoy. So this is a ice cream tub from Over the Moo. It's a vegan ice cream company. This was coconut ice cream with cookies and cream. It was delicious. And this one has a 5. Hey! Which completely makes sense now that I know that plastic number 5 is used for plastic food containers quite often. It actually says on the back here that it's BPA free, and it says why not reuse this tub as a toothbrush holder as well. I've actually used this to store my makeup brushes in when I have to wash them. I put baby shampoo in here because I've heard that that's really good for cleaning brushes. I use the one from the brand Thank You. I also use baby shampoo sometimes on myself, particularly when I want to use something that's not too harsh on my hair, something that won't strip it too much. If I've used, say, an oil mix, like there's a really gorgeous one from Chirp, you put it in, and to make sure your hair isn't too oily, after using the hair oil, you're meant to wash it out twice with shampoo, and to make sure I'm not being too harsh on my hair, I use baby shampoo. It's also a really cheap alternative because a lot of makeup brush cleaners are expensive. So I'm reusing this, I'm keeping it with me. I can use it for pens, brushes, whatever. And I have the lid. Heck, I could even make ice cream and put it in here. Next, I also have old containers from Lush. Lush actually rewards customers. You bring back 5 of these little face pots and they give you a face mask for free. So they will recycle it for you, but it is also, and this is also plastic number 5. Yay! So it is a safe plastic and it can be easily recycled if I didn't want a Lush face mask. I also want to show you this one, which does concern me. This one has a recycling symbol number 1, so it's not one of the most safest. I'm currently reusing it as a case for my sponge. I figured this was one of the best places to keep it, since then it wouldn't get bacteria from everything else. But now that I know that this is a plastic that does sort of hold on to bacteria, I'm a bit more inclined to put it somewhere else. This doesn't seem like a good idea anymore. So now I want to talk to you just a little bit about the challenge that I will be doing this month. I've already told you most of it, but the next stage is to make sure that I always go out with a container like this one, so that I'm not buying lunch on the go and wasting one of their containers. I would much rather reuse one of mine and not have to recycle a new one. When I do get a takeaway, most of the time I do hold on to the container and I do reuse it, but we just have so many plastic containers now, so it would be way better just to keep reusing these, recycle the other ones, and stop just consuming so much plastic. So that is phase 1. Phase number 2 is actually all about fashion. This is a really good top. This is from bekindcoco and they use all organic cotton. There's no poly whatever in this, but other things I wear do contain plastic, and those plastics all end up in the sea. And they don't just do that when clothes are thrown away. It happens every single time you wash your clothes. So I have actually invested in a guppy friend. I heard about this first in Peppermint magazine, so I'm actually just going to go and grab that and read you a little excerpt because it was awesome. So this is Peppermint magazine. It's my all-time favorite magazine. This is from the summer 2017 one, and on top of a lot of reasons I love this, it's a 100% carbon neutral publication, which is just amazing. So quickly, I just want to read a little bit from here. So it says here, microfibers make up 85% of human-made debris on beaches and shorelines around the world. And microfibers are found overwhelmingly from fashion. And most of these microfibers all come from the clothes we wear. Of course, it includes all the plastic pots and things that end up in the sea, but it's also from clothes. Microfibers themselves are tiny fragments of plastic debris that are micrometers in diameter and that emanate from a myriad of different sources. Tire dust, paints, the breaking down of secondary microplastics. This includes plastic bags, takeaway containers, plastic cutlery, airborne synthetic fibres and microbeads, which have been banned from facial cleansers and some cosmetics in the US and UK. The main culprit, however, is synthetic clothing, fleece, rayon, acrylic and polyester garments, all of which emit thousands of microfibers every time they're washed. Since the 1950s, there's been an approximate 450% increase in the volume of these fibres found in the world's oceans, and yet it remains a silent issue as government and to lesser extent industry direct their attention elsewhere. So, in comes Guppy Friend. Guppy Friend is a washing bag where you put any of your clothing that contains plastics. It doesn't get rid of the problem, but it does mean that your clothes will shed something like 70% less than if they're just in the washing machine, and any that is shed ends up just in the bag. While it's in the bag, you can neatly take it out and put it in the bin. So let's open this guy, just to show you a bit more clearly. This is the bag. It's a huge bag. You can fit all your clothes in here if you had to, if they were all plastic. But I'm really excited to use this. In my case, of course, I want to stop buying things that contain plastics, meaning I don't have to wash things that contain plastic. And this mainly comes from bikinis and activewear, which to me is a bit of an excuse to do a shop online. I actually do have some posts on my blog that may help you if you want to do this as well. I have a post on ethical swimwear and I have a post on ethical activewear, and these will really help you if you want to reduce the amount of plastic in your wardrobe. Plus, the companies that I've chosen to include are awesome. They're ethical, they're stylish, and some of them are charitable as well, so do check them out. For now, I'm going to go and I'll check in with you again when I'm using the Guppy Friend and to tell you how it goes. Bye!